I'll bet. And all the receivers are lit up too. Probably helps if I turn the mixing board on.
For some reason, this tab's muted.
Yeah.
Unmuted.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, it's working now.
Okay, good.
Let's double check, and we'll get ready to go here in just a second.
I don't see.
All clear? Everyone will please rise as we call our meeting to order here. Please place your hand over your heart. Mr. Danny Pruitt will lead us tonight in our Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Everyone can be seated. This is our monthly meeting for the month of August 2021. Council members, you've been sent the agenda. You've had a chance to look over it. I'll entertain any additions or changes to the agenda at this time.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to add the proposed beer garden to the agenda, please.
Mr. Mayor, if it's the pleasure of the council, we have Mr. Dana Phillips from Disaster Recovery. He's been authorized to give us an update on the earthquake recovery. And if we could actually put him at the first of the agenda to be respectful of his time.
So we'll do that. Also, council, we will have at the end, I'll be presenting a proclamation for your approval. There being any other additions? If not, I'll entertain a motion to accept the agenda as it is.
So moved.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, a show of hands, please. 5-0. You also have the minutes from our previous meeting of July 6, 2021 before you. You've had a chance to overlook those. I'll entertain a motion to approve those minutes.
Moved.
Second.
Have a motion by Cole and a second by John. All in favor, show of hands, please. 5-0 on the approval of minutes. At this time, we open up the floor for public comments on agenda items and agenda items only. And what that is that you can comment about the things that are on the agenda here tonight. If you'd like to, I just ask that you bring up, when you come up, you state your name and your address so we know where you're coming from. And I'll open that up now for anybody that would like to talk about the agenda here tonight.
I'd like to talk about the beer garden
That'll have to come
later.
later. We'll do that at the very end there as we add it on to other business, okay? Anything else? If not, we'll close our public comments on the agenda. And we'll entertain Mr. Dana Phillips from the Office of State Budget Management, Disaster Relief.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Council. Thank you all for letting me take a few minutes to come up here tonight and speak to you a little bit about what's going on with the earthquake disaster recovery. As everyone's aware, Monday, August 9th coming up, it's going to be the 1-year anniversary of the 5.1 quake that really made a big impact in this area. In September of 2020, Governor Cooper, along with the leadership from the General Assembly, allocated $24 million to help with the recovery, particularly here in Allegheny County, and in particular Sparta. We're also doing work in Ashe County, Wilkes, and Surrey as well. So damage is out there. It's all over the place. But particularly, we're doing a whole lot of repair and recovery right here in Allegheny County. Just want to give you a little bit of an update and a few numbers about where we're at with the recovery. First of all, this upcoming Monday at noon, I believe we're going to do a press conference in association with the town, and we're going to be sharing some more information and some more numbers on that. So of the $24 million right now, we have a little over $4.6 million has already been spent. Okay, that has already been spent, money already paid out from our office. We have nearly $16 million encumbered. Okay, and that is some other contracts and things that are going on. So we're real proud of that number. Just a couple of other numbers I want to highlight is so far our office has received 231 applications for residential assistance. 231 applications for residential assistance have come to our office here in Sparta. Of those, 109 have been fully funded projects. And by that, I mean 100% payment of the anticipated repair costs have already been made to the homeowner. 109 fully funded projects. Of the 109, 68 are 100% complete. We have checked them out. We've gone through, we've done inspections. Everything's good. The homeowners are pleased. So we're real proud of those numbers. In a short amount of time, we're turning over a lot of work, getting a lot of projects done. Of the 109 that are fully funded, you notice I said 68 were complete. That leaves 41. This 41 are projects that we have funded where the homeowner may not have been able to get their contractor on site yet. And if anybody in this room, and I'll look around too, if we're working with you, one of the things that struggle right now is to get contractors on site. We have some fantastic and amazing contractors. We just have a limited number. And with all the work going on and normal work going on, it's sometimes hard. But we have those projects funded, and we're real proud of that. Again, the majority of the repairs have been right here in Allegheny County, in Sparta in particular. And if you look at our map, it's a cluster of areas where we're doing a lot of work. We currently have 4 homes being rebuilt and replaced right now. We have 1 home that has already been replaced and the homeowner has moved back in. And we have a second round of demolition and rebuilds that are going to be starting here in just a few weeks. So we're excited to be able to help those homeowners get in. Right now, our average home repair is a little over $44,000 based on what we're doing and what we're getting out there. So a couple of other things I want to highlight. We're partnering with the town on the sanitary sewer project. I'm sure town manager Wilmoth is providing updates on that. We look forward to continuing that project and getting that started, and certainly helping the town of Sparta improve the infrastructure with the sewer system. Recently, we were able to assist with the VFW, and what a fantastic event that was just a few weeks ago to see the grand opening for that facility as well. We also have been partnering with the county. We have a grant with the county, doing a lot with the courthouse and some other repairs with the county and county team. We're real excited about that. And in addition, we have a grant with the Allegheny County School System to help them with some damage. We're also assisting, we recently have just signed a grant with Surrey County to help them as well. So we've got a lot going on with earthquake recovery. We're proud of the efforts, but I'll tell you, one of the things that we're most proud of is the partnerships that we've built. The partnership with the town of Sparta has been amazing. We've got a fantastic relationship with Allegheny County. Our partners with North Carolina Emergency Management have been fantastic to work with. And it's amazing to see all these government agencies come together for a successful project. So we certainly welcome and appreciate all of the assistance and support from the citizens of Allegheny County. And if anybody has any questions or concerns, they can feel free to call me. I think most folks in Allegheny County probably have my cell number at this point. So feel free, call me, come by our office, come see Diane, and we'll be happy to help. So, Mr. Mayor, again, council, thank you for allowing me to take a few minutes, and thank you for your time.
We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think I can say on behalf of the council, behalf of the citizens of Sparta and the county of Allegheny, we'd like to take this opportunity to thank you, your staff, your colleagues that you have up here with Rich and Nels. What an outstanding job you guys have done and keep doing for us. You are part of this community, whether you realize it or not. You're now one of us. And for the next couple of years, we're going to enjoy working together with you. And I also want to make a reminder out to everybody that's out there, it's still not too late to come talk to you about earthquake damage
Absolutely.
that you
Yes,
may
sir.
have already found. There is also a local earthquake fund that has been set up by citizens of this community to help people if they need it. It takes a simple application to go see Daniel Roten at the Emergency Management Office to fill out a short application to help you with some of your bills or whatever that you might endure during this earthquake. But Dana, outstanding job. And if I had a hat on, I'd tip it to you, bro.
Thank you so much. And again, it's a team effort from OSBM, Disaster Recovery, North Carolina Emergency Management, and our local partners. So thank you.
Thank you, Dan. Appreciate that. Up next on our agenda is agenda item number 5, citizen comments. Mr. Dwayne Swank is going to be coming to the podium. Just introduce yourself, Dwayne, and everything. But before you even start, I want to make sure that I go on record here, as if Charlie will go ahead and put that camera over here on me for just a minute, that I want to extend a gratitude of thankfulness to Miss Jennifer Swank, to Dwayne Swank, for putting a disclaimer on the website that was in discussion in last meeting. I thank you, and I think that right there was enough to nip anything further in discussion about it in the bud. We appreciate your efforts and what you went out to and your great lengths that you went to clarify or clear up any misinformation that was out there. We thank you for that.
Sounds good, and that was Jennifer's writing there. My name is Dwayne Swank. I live at 471 River Run Lane here in Sparta, North Carolina. And the reason I wanted to talk tonight is I did watch the video of last month's meeting, and the part that concerned what's happening in Sparta NC. And all we have here is a misunderstanding. And that's what I like to do tonight is clear up a few misunderstandings from the notes I took after watching the meeting. And social media marketing is the way companies market their business in the 21st century, and especially by 2021. We're well into the 21st century. The first thing I wanted to do was give our backgrounds. And although I've known most of y'all for 30, 40 years, except for Cole, he's a little younger than the rest of us. You haven't seen me much for the last 19 years because I've been working as a business consultant for United Country Real Estate out of Kansas City, Missouri. 10 years ago, I was promoted to the senior business consultant, and I have since trained all of the current business consultants and trainers for the company. As a part of that job, I have written numerous PowerPoint presentations on successfully marketing real estate in social media, and in particular, Facebook. So this is what I do for a living. I am fully familiar with social media, and I train on it on a weekly basis. For the last 3 years, I've been doing all of my training with Zoom teleconferencing. And there's no way that y'all could have known that. So I want to give you a little more confidence that the page is being well run, and we do actually know what we're doing. As far as Jennifer goes, she has a bachelor's degree in marketing from Wesleyan College. And in today's world, when you get a bachelor's degree in marketing, you are learning digital marketing. Analog marketing is a thing of the past. So once again, she's got a college degree in digital marketing, and she markets both of her businesses through social media. She owns Jade Oak Properties, and she markets her listings utilizing social media advertising, and does an excellent job of it. And she does the same thing with her candle company. So we're very confident. We know what we're doing. It is a public group. Sometimes people do make comments that I don't like, but it is a public group. If they don't violate our rules, then everybody is allowed to speak. However, if they start bullying someone or if they start using profanity, they're removed from the group. And on a group like what's happening in Sparta NC, all the 10,000 plus members have the opportunity to report any comment, any post to the administrators that they feel like is inappropriate. So if y'all ever see anything that is inappropriate, or if a business ever posts on that site and they're scam artists, we really try to avoid that. But for God's sake, let us know, because we have no intentions of damaging the brand whatsoever. Second thing I want to talk about is we did put a disclaimer up on the Facebook page on the public group. And what I've done, because I've realized from listening to the meeting last week that some of you might very well not be members of that group. And if you're not members of the group, you don't see the daily feed and you don't see what's actually happening. So what I've done is I passed out a packet, and it has a disclaimer on the front page. And then for however many pages after that, I think there's 195 comments. It has comments to this disclaimer. And I think that if you will read those comments, it'll clear everything up. This page was started by Jennifer several years ago as a way for the Swank family to give back to Sparta and Allegheny County. We absolutely have no intentions of damaging the brand whatsoever. And in your packet, I put a Post-it note in the column. If you would open up to that first page there, this is beyond the comments. I wanted to just share a few posts to show those of you who are not members of the group what the group's actually all about. The first one is a post that was shared for a GoFundMe drive for a young baby who was born with health problems and started out in an ICU. He's now come home to Allegheny County. Does anybody feel like that post is damaging the brand? We good with that? That post went out to, if you look down at the bottom under View Insights, that went out to over 5,600 people. 5,600 people had the opportunity to help that family that would not have otherwise. That's what groups like What's Happening in Sparta NC are all about. The next post is Kathy Murphy has posted her Twin Oaks Mountain Organic Blueberries. She is advertising her business on What's Happening in Sparta, has the opportunity to get in front of over 10,000 people. None of this costs businesses anything at all. It's a tremendous opportunity for her to sell out her blueberry crop. The next post that I put up here, if you remember about a year ago, Jerry Porcaro started up his Line 'em Up Barbershop, and I hope I got the name of that right. I hope I got your name pronounced right. But Jerry is a very savvy young businessman who understands how to market in today's world. He created his Facebook business page, and there is a difference between business pages and personal pages. He created that before he opened his barbershop, to where by the time he opened, he was wide open from day one. And now, as you can see on this post, he's getting ready to open his second business. He has not opened Sparta Sweets and Treats yet, but he's been posting for the last several weeks as he gets the space ready. He already has his Facebook business page, and I guarantee when the day he opens, he will be posting and have an immediate success once again. In my mind, any local business that does not utilize social media marketing is hiding in the closet from today's consumers. Next page is the open house registration post for the dance place, which, as you know, is a business that has been around 30 or 40 years. They're stepping to the plate. They understand in today's world they have to get the word out. And so they posted on What's Happening in Sparta. If we go to the next page, this is an example of the Allegheny Arts Council, who created a post on their Facebook page, and they have, I think, 2,000 or 3,000 likes on their page. And then, as an opportunity to get it in front of more people, they have shared it over to What's Happening in Sparta. And according to the View Insights at the bottom, they have reached an additional 2,800 people. This is what social media marketing is all about. We should all be working together as a community to grow this community instead of bickering at each other. The next page is a post. I didn't know. This is a post from Eduardo Paduco, who owns Next Level Detailing. Once again, Eduardo's a savvy young businessman. He has a Facebook business page. Over the first year of his business, he has hired several employees. In this post here, he's looking for another employee. For those of you who don't know, within months of opening Next Level Detailing in Sparta, he opened one over in Galax. And I promise you, he has a Facebook page over there, a business Facebook page. And I promise you, he's advertising that one on What's Happening in Galax. This is the way things work in the year 2021. The last one I have here is a post by Darren Kuntz. I'm sure all of you know Darren. He's the owner of the Pines Restaurant. And on this one here, he posts every day, sometimes multiple times a day. But on this one here, he's just made a new batch of butterscotch, coconut, and chocolate pies. Why does he share this to What's Happening in Sparta? Because he sells lots of butterscotch, coconut, and chocolate pies if he does. So like I say, I think what we have here is strictly a misunderstanding. If you're not familiar with social media marketing, and if you're not scrolling through news feeds of public groups like What's Happening in Sparta, I know they have a big group down in Ashe County. You're not going to understand this stuff, but this is the way marketing works in the 21st century. I did want to also mention that Monique and Xavier Iglesias contacted us, knowing that we were coming here tonight, and wanted us to let everybody know that they rely on What's Happening in Sparta to advertise their pizzeria at least once a week. And trying to think if there was anybody else that had talked to us. But like I say, I just wanted to get up here and go over this, because I really do believe all of this is strictly a misunderstanding. And if you're not watching the news feed, it would be something that could crop up in your mind, that it might be something detrimental. But I really would like to ask each and every one of you to read the 195 comments to that disclaimer. I think that will put this whole issue to bed. And I did want to let everybody know that Dwayne and Jennifer Swank will continue to give back to the community as we have for the last matter of years. And we're hoping we can all work together rather than being at odds with each other. And I appreciate the opportunity to get up here and speak to the council. And I don't know if you do questions or answers, but if anybody's got any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
You're good. We appreciate that. Thank you,
Okay.
sir. Appreciate you coming,
Okay,
speaking.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. You moving on to agenda item number 6. We don't have any comments until public comments.
Okay.
We're moving on to agenda item number 6, and this is citizens concerned over the beer garden that was voted on in last month's meeting. If you'll come up and introduce yourself. And before you get started, I just want to clarify once again that there has been a lot of misinformation that has been put out here. Not only by individuals, but by elected officials that unfortunately are in our county. This was a decision that was made by this council for 2 events and 2 events only. It was not a permanent order or change of an ordinance in any way. The vote was 4-1 to allow Music on Main an opportunity to have 2 events with a beer garden. That's it. This does not affect the parks in any way. It does not affect Friday nights of any other night, Thursday night, Wednesday, whatever. It does not affect that in any way. It also stipulates this, that beer garden is a sectioned off part of the event for that one purpose. Anyone that steps out of that area is subject to town ordinances, state ordinances, and so on and so forth, and can be fined or arrested or cited or whatever for public intoxication if they're outside that area. And I want to be very, very clear. It was for 2 events. It is not a permanent thing to allow alcohol on the streets. With that being said.
Ross Wagner, 5839 Pine Swamp Road, Whitehead, North Carolina. I visit Sparta real often, but I don't live here. So if the town gets sued, I don't have a concern about that either way. It's not a problem for me. My cousin Millie asked me to come and speak in opposition to the beer garden, and I don't know the rules here. 61 plus years, I've never spoken to a town council. So if somebody wants to interrupt me from the council, that's fine. If somebody has a question. And first I need to say, I oppose the beer garden. Second, I'm going to say something that Cousin Millie doesn't know. I'm not asking you to vote to cancel the beer garden. Once you give your word, I think it would be poor to go back on your word. I think the beer garden was a bad decision. I wish it didn't happen. I would hope that the brewery and the winery would choose not to do it. But that's my part of the technical part of it, I think. And then I want to share some about my ideas about beer and wine, if that's okay. I believe drinking beer is bad. The brewery, the chamber, and the town council disagree. I believe drinking wine is bad. The brewery, the winery, the chamber, and the town council disagree. I want to appeal to emotion, not to intellect. I want it to be a heart thing instead of a head thing. It's hard to do this, but if you Google Stanford swimmer on internet, it talks about a young man who was an Olympic hopeful, who was in an elite university, was a member of the swim team there, who, while under the influence of alcohol, assaulted a young woman, a young lady there. He spent 3 months in jail for that. His life changed tremendously. I don't know when he took his first drink of beer, wine, or liquor. I don't know. The young lady was immobilized by the alcohol. I don't know when she took her first drink of beer, wine, or liquor. I don't think either one of them expected their lives to change the way they did when they did that. So I had a friend in Minnesota, and I found out by reading the newspaper in the city I was at, Duluth, that when he was younger, he went to Vietnam, came home. I don't know if he had his first drink before he left Vietnam, in Vietnam, or after he came back. This person whose parents I knew well, committed a violent felony. He couldn't change that. He couldn't change the harm he did to the victim of that felony. So for me, I was amazed when I found, but his life changed. He went into nursing. He was somebody I would have trusted with my loved ones. So it didn't ruin his life, but it made his life far more difficult and his parents' life far more difficult. In Minnesota, I also had the opportunity to be a resident and then resident manager at an antique rooming house over an antique shop in a very old building. I had Native American neighbors. I had Anglo neighbors. One of my Native American neighbors was drinking beer. He was making too much noise, so I went and asked if I could close his door. He said yes. Then one time I went and closed his door without asking, and he asked me if I had done that. I said yes. Then he hit me on the jaw with his fist. He did that while he was drinking. When I told him he was evicted, he didn't hit me. When I helped him carry his stuff out when he was leaving, he didn't hit me. So for me, beer, wine, and liquor and violence go together. I don't know that anybody in this room could promise you what's going to happen to every person who chooses to buy a beer or wine at the beer garden. We don't know. But I wanted to use some illustration to express my opinion. And I had one, and I wanted to use it, but I couldn't. So the one I chose was in preparing for the meeting, I found out that in North Carolina, it is legal to own a pet rattlesnake. I was surprised at that. So somewhere in North Carolina, there may be a shop that sells pet rattlesnakes. A lot of the focus of the meeting that I watched on the internet was on the specific location and how that would be taken care of. For me, the question about beer, wine, and liquor, beer and wine in this situation, is it like a pet rattlesnake? If a person takes their first drink or brings their first couple of drinks, is the potential there for them to experience great harm? When I was underage, I drank one beer. The person who gave me that didn't offer me a second one, and I'm grateful for that. I didn't start drinking, but I could have. And if I had begun, I don't know how that would have changed my life. But I think that they've done everything they can to make it good. I just disagree with it being there. And if there's any questions or anything, that's okay with me.
Thank you for your concern, Ross. We appreciate you coming up and speaking.
And I forgot to thank the mayor and the council for the time to speak, so I
Very
appreciate
well.
that.
Thank you for coming up and speaking to us. We appreciate that. We'll move on to agenda item number 7, the consideration of.
I'd like to say something about beer garden.
I'm going to let you speak when it's brought up on the agenda, Brad, if you don't mind, okay? When she brings it up in other business, we'll let you talk, okay? We'll go to number 7 here, the consideration of special revenue grant project ordinance, and I'm going to turn it over at this time to our town manager, Ryan Wilmot.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Town council, included in your agenda packet tonight, is an ordinance for a special revenue grant project. That is a continuation of the action this council took last month for receipt of the American Rescue funding. As you can see detailed inside the ordinance, the allotment, we have received the initial tranche Of that, we will not receive our second tranche of that for 12 months. We originally accounted for this funding in the fiscal year 21-22 budget ordinance. Considering this funding is going to be multi-year, the project period doesn't end until December 31st of 2026. For accounting purposes, for auditing purposes, and to comply with the Local Government Fiscal Control Act, the school government, the League of Municipalities, and all those expert agencies have recommended that governments account for this funding in a special revenue project fund, which is the step that I am asking you to take tonight. We will then amend our fiscal year 21-22 budget to be in line with accounting purposes. So I recommend that you accept or pass this ordinance for that funding.
So moved.
Second. Have a motion to proceed
Yes, sir.
and a second. All in favor, show of hands. 5-0 on that.
I leave.
Mr. Manning, if you want to continue on, go to the agenda item number 8, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Town Council, agenda item number 8 is consideration of establishing criteria for design, build, delivery method, and approving that criteria. And this relates to the Partif grant that we received for Cross Park. As part of that funding, we were scheduled to incorporate a restroom facility. Since that application submission, our project scope has somewhat changed to now a standalone restroom facility, which you all are familiar with. As part of that funding cycle, that is a 3-year funding cycle. We were awarded that money August 2019. So our cycle is now within about the last 12 months of getting that project complete. We have made no real progress toward constructing a standalone restroom facility. Since the scope of that restroom facility and the cost is above $30,000 and outside of our ability to construct in-house, we then fall into the procurement regulations and all that's laid out for local governments. So we need to initiate some work on this facility. There's a couple different ways that we can do that within the legal realms of what local governments procure and build facilities by. One of those is a design build methodology. And what that does is incorporates one firm that will hold one contract with the town for design, engineering, and construction. So you consolidate about 3 separate processes in your typical design, study, build, or bid and then construct process, which takes substantially longer. Given our 12-month time frame, we need to look at any way that we can cut that time frame down to get construction. As part of going with a design build methodology, general statute says we have to adopt methods for or criteria for establishing how we're going to apply this design build. That is the written document that you received in your packet. So we have criteria. We have now applied those to the project. So we need to accept that criteria, and then I need you to authorize me to proceed with selecting or requesting qualifications from design build firms so that we can move forward with this project. Given the time constraints, I do feel that we could, moving forward with a design build, we can fall within that 12-month requirement that we're facing with the part of grant. And there will most likely be some cost savings to the town by combining all those services. So our budget is already a little skewed for this project. Our timeline is now a little skewed. So I recommend using this methodology so that we can complete this project.
So you need a motion to adopt this method.
Correct.
So moved.
Second.
A motion and a second on the end. All in favor, show of hands, please, on that. 5-0.
Now, when they do this, let's not put up a shack over there.
Understood.
Let's do something that,
Is that a second motion?
I don't know if it's a second motion or not, but just let you know,
Do it right.
we need to do it right when we do it. Even if it costs a little more money than we have in the grant.
Understand, and to be very forward with council, we had $45,000 established for that line item. We know that is not gonna build a standalone facility. There are gonna need to be some additional funds contributed on behalf of the town. The benefit of this design build, we can design it, look at it from a construction angle, set a budget as a maximum, and then we can look at cost engineering as we go along.
Okay, I was over there Saturday night. It's a great park. People use it a lot. We need some more bathrooms. I'll just say that right off the bat.
Okay.
I've got faith in our park committee.
I do too, Mike.
The agenda item number 9 tonight is a continuation of social media discussion. Mr. Manager, if you want.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Town Council, this was a conversation from last meeting in which we tabled until this meeting, until our attorney and I could confer on some record retention and the Freedom of Information Act. We have not had an opportunity to complete that, and I would request that the table or the council table this until I can bring a recommendation back.
So moved.
Second.
Motion second. All in favor, show of hands, please. 5-0 on that. Agenda item number 10, town website discussion. Councilwoman Richardson.
I'd like to table that till next month, Mr. Mayor, if it's possible and agreeable.
Table that till next month. She withdraws that for the night. Flipping over, we'll move into our manager's report.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Council. I don't have a lot of items tonight. One action item that I do need, Dr. Brian Arnold's office that's being constructed on Grayson Street. The sewer lateral that had to be installed was actually across the road. So instead of digging up Grayson Street and cutting off the post office and our attorney's office and all the businesses that would have been impacted by that, we actually opted to bore underneath Grayson Street. And that cost actually came back above the threshold for authorized spending. It was $5,702. And I need council approval to authorize our finance officer to pay that.
Is that a budget amendment?
No.
It's just authorizing the money.
Yes, more than 5,000, so we can't pay it until you are authorized.
So we've already done it, right?
Yeah.
So I'll make the motion.
Kind of a must do there. I have a motion right here and a second. All in favor, show of hands, please.
Then why don't you take it out of your pocket?
Thank you. Appreciate that. I'll be coming back for a race. We'll move into events. The North Carolina Mountain Heritage Festival is scheduled for September the 11th on Main Street. We need approval by the council to host that event as well as close Main Street.
Now, are we hosting it or the
Well,
chamber?
the chamber
The
is.
chamber will be
Okay, so you just need a motion to
closed.
To
close the
approve.
street. I'll make that motion.
Have a motion? Do I have a second?
Second.
Second. All in favor, show of hands. 5-0 on the Mountain Heritage Festival.
There is also a pumpkin festival being considered for October the 16th by Sparta Lights and Entertainment in Cross Park, and they have requested permission to use the park for that festival.
So moved.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, show of hands, please, on that. 5-0 on that. Pumpkin
And
Festival.
lastly, on October the 23rd of this year, Allegheny Memorial Hospital Foundation is hosting a 5K and fun run. And they would like to have a start-finish line as well as utilize Cross Park for the event, beginning at 7 a.m. until the last runner is done for the day. So we'll need approval for them to have the park.
So moved.
Have a motion on the end, a second?
Second.
Have a second also. All in favor, show of hands, please. 5-0 on that.
Mr. Mayor, that concludes my comments.
I'll continue on with the events, and I just want to make mention of the success that we had at the Mud Bog at the fairgrounds. A big crowd out there, so far the biggest crowd of the year. Also, we had a lot of people come through on the 100-mile road market, that the annual 3-day road market that comes through on the last weekend of July. Lots of people come through our community and dropped a few dollars into our economy, so we're very appreciative of that. The music in the park this past Saturday was another success. A good crowd over there with a great band. I had the pleasure of going over there myself and listening to that. So music is going wild here in Sparta, and that's a good thing. It brings people out. Even seen Councilman Polier out there shagging a little bit on the basketball court. You can get that video wiped off Facebook for minimal fee. This coming weekend is a big weekend in the town of Sparta and in the county of Allegheny. And I just want to make mention of a few events that's going on. Friday night, of course, is Music on Main, which draws a lot of folks. We'll have you closing off Main Street Friday evening, I believe at 5:30. Is that right, Chief? 5:30 in the afternoon. So if you're out and about, you're probably going to be detoured around the town of Sparta. We also have Saturday is a humongous day. We have the VFW barbecue going on that morning, so you can get your chicken early. You can get in your old car and come out for a cruise in. That'll be going on about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. We'll also have the VFW car show up in the NAPCO parking lot. So you get to go up there and see a bunch of old cars. And then at the end of the day, all those old cars are going to participate in the demolition derby. It'll be held out at the fairgrounds.
That will be a show.
So that's going to be a good show on that. So I encourage everybody to come out. Big day on Saturday, big night on Friday night, this weekend in Sparta. Just come out and have a good time. Now, we'll move on to our other business that was presented. And Councilwoman Richardson has requested that we have a proposed talk about the beer garden. But before you get started, Amelia, I want to acknowledge Brad Walker. If Brad will come on up, and he's been waiting patiently for that. I apologize on that, Brad. I just wanted to give you the right moment.
Right, thank you. I'm not opposed to the beer garden. The liability is my biggest issue. And there was a comment made from the council last meeting. Things have changed about drinking alcohol and everything. That's not true. Because you've been standing where I was at the last Main Street, Music on Main. I don't know how many of you have younger children. Mine's grown. But being a citizen and a taxpayer, you want family members to come to this, right?
We hope.
I'm at. If I would have had a child 13 years or younger, probably, they would have been 3 people put on the ground, and Mr. Chief back here would probably been arresting me for the language, and all 3 of them was drinking. They was drunk on Main Street. But I didn't have a child, so I let it go. Wasn't my business. But I felt bad for the other parents that did have small children there. That's my own thing. Thank y'all.
Thank you. Appreciate that, Brad. I think this young lady over here had something about the same line on the same topic.
No.
Okay, different topic. Okay. We'll get you in public comments then, okay? At this time, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Councilwoman Richardson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'll be brief. At the last meeting, the chamber painted a very harmless picture of friends enjoying music with a glass of wine or a craft beer. Every picture has two faces. Approximately 50% of the people who start drinking have alcohol use disorder. That is according to the National Institute of Alcohol Abuse and Alcoholism. Now, alcohol use disorder is a new term for alcoholism. It is defined as a chronic brain disorder marked by compulsive drinking, loss of control over alcohol use, and negative emotions when not drinking. Heavy drinking is defined as 4 or more drinks per day for men, 3 or more drinks per day for women. If your social life revolves around alcohol, all of your social activities, you have a problem. Most folks start drinking just as we said, that harmless picture, having a few drinks with friends in high school, college. Folks don't know that they have alcohol use disorder until after they start drinking. There is some tendency towards dependency, genetic, if any of your parents or someone might have told you that, but generally people don't know it. And this is where the picture turns real ugly real quick. I just want to share a couple of things that I have experienced in my life. A neighbor of ours moved here from Florida in 1988. His girlfriend had left him. He was one of the most caring, compassionate, and kind people that I ever met. He turned to alcohol because he obviously was in suffering pain. He obviously had the alcohol use disorder. His last job was working at the nursing home. He loved those people. He mourned everyone when they passed. My brother and myself found him on the front porch of his house dead. He was 41 years old. The alcohol had destroyed his body to the point that he looked like a skeleton. He was no longer able to take in nutrients. Alcohol does destroy every system in your body. So that was one experience that I had. I had a first cousin who moved here. He was an Air Force veteran. He was a mesh mechanic. Very nice guy. Very talented guy. Again, he had alcohol use disorder. On the 26th day of December in 1999, he shot himself in the head in his backyard. There was questions about whether or not it was self-inflicted or whether, in fact, his alcoholic wife had done the shooting. Sheriff contacted me because I had contact with his brother out west. This went on well into the wee hours of the morning. The thing that struck me, the tragedy of him being dead, obviously, apparently, but the thing that struck me that night was that he didn't have any shoes on. He lived in the home that his mom and dad had built, and they never allowed us to wear shoes. And he laid in that yard dead in his stocking feet. I won't say. I was in a newspaper business for 20 years. I went to a lot of wrecks. That was my job, but it was also my job. Everybody didn't have smartphones. I took a lot of pictures for law enforcement, rescue squad, EMS. I took a lot of pictures. Okay, it was my job. There was a wreck one night, 93, where 93 cuts off 221. I heard it on the scanner. I took my camera. I went down there. It wasn't real late at night. It was at night, 10 o'clock maybe. And when I got there, it was strange. It was surreal. The ambulance was sitting there, lights blinking. The highway patrolman, Oakland Highway patrolman, was standing there. It was just quiet. And I didn't understand, so but I went to do my job, and I always would walk around the wreck and take a picture from both sides. And so it was a little S10 pickup, stopping the road. And not a lot of damage to the truck, just rolled over the road. So I walked around, took a picture. I came back around the corner, and I saw this teenage boy laying on the road dead. He never drunk in his life. He and a friend of his had gotten someone to buy them some liquor. Rolled the truck. Obviously, he never drank again. Devastated his family. I was called by my father to go up to the parkway one night. There were some Harley riders who had wrecked, a Harley rider who had wrecked up at Miller's Campground. This gentleman was drinking, probably running 70 miles an hour. He ran off the road. It tore his helmet off, tore his coat off, tore his boots off. It rolled his shirt up around his neck and broke his neck. Now, this is how things go horribly awry. And the point being is that people don't understand that they have this situation. Last year, there's 95,000 people died in alcohol-related deaths. This does not include the ruined lives, the ruined marriages, the scarred children, the lost potential, the scarred children, lost potential. Actual cost $249 billion due to alcohol use disorder. That's for 10 years ago. This is a known and documented health crisis in our country today. It is the number one drug problem in our country today. Now, if we ignore this as a council, that's one thing. But if we condone it and we promote it, then we are promoting something that is detrimental to the health of our community. I cannot do that, and I will not do that.
You want to make a,
I have
Motion.
2 more things to say,
well,
Mr. Mayor,
I think,
and
hang on.
you do not have the authority to limit my comments, and I'm not through.
Please listen to me. I think everyone knows your position.
You do not know what the League of Municipalities told me today, so
Did
Mr.
you not
Mayor,
send out an email to everyone?
I still have the
Hang on.
floor,
You're
Will.
out of order. You're out of order.
I have the floor.
You're out of order.
Let her talk, let her talk.
You're out of order.
Let her
This is
talk.
your first warning. You're out of order.
Wes,
I
you
am
do
trying-
not have
hang
the
on.
authority to limit my comments.
I'm not limiting
You
your
are limiting
conversation.
my
I'm
comments.
asking you a question. Would you like to put it into a motion?
I am not at the end of my presentation yet, Mr. Mayor.
Millie, I am asking you, do you want to put it in a
I am
motion to
not
rescind
through with
the vote?
I'm not through with my presentation. Mr. Mayor, you do not have the right to limit my comments.
I am not trying to limit your comments.
So-
I'm trying to make the meeting move along here.
The meeting is going to move along when I read 2
Please be
emails.
respectful. I'm trying to be respectful to you. We've heard your examples, which I am sorry for. We've heard the examples that Ross has said, and we understand that.
Are you going to let me finish my
I'm
presentation?
going to let you finish. Would you please finish? And if you want to make a
I would've
motion,
been
please
finished.
make the motion.
I would've
Go,
been finished
go,
had
go,
you not
Millie, go,
interrupted.
go, Millie.
The town of Sparta has an ordinance, Sparta Ordinance 130-02, public display of intoxicating liquor. And I will quote, and yes, I did send this to all the council members. I did send it to the town manager. I want the public to know what their ordinance says. We serve the public. The ordinance states it shall be unlawful for any person to drink or have open any intoxicating beverage or on any public street, road, parking lot, or public place, and to make public display of any intoxicating liquor at any athletic contest or on school property. Intoxicating liquors include alcohol, brandy, whiskey, rum, gin, beer, ale, port wine, and in addition thereto, any spirituous, vinous, malt, or fermented beverage, liquids, and compounds. Now, I called our legal representation at the League of Municipalities. We pay these good folks to give us legal counsel. Our legal counsel at the last meeting said that, well, it probably wasn't a problem. I spoke with the, I sent an email, I spoke with the lady, her name's Monica L. Jackson, the Senior Assistant General Counsel. Her email response to me, generally speaking, municipalities should strive to not violate or run afoul of their own duly enacted ordinances. Moreover, as a general proposition, allowing any event to be held where beer and wine will be served and consumed on and around the streets and sidewalks opens the town up to its own exposure to civil liability. Should an adverse event arise, despite any immunity or other defenses that may be available. That is what I said last week at the last meeting, and I was poo-pooed that, well, maybe you might get sued, maybe not. Okay, the League of Municipalities has advised us it's not a good idea. Now, Mr. Mayor, I would like to give the other councils an opportunity to ask any questions or make any comments, if that's agreeable.
I run the meeting and I will ask the council when it's appropriate. I have a general statute that I would like the town manager to read, please.
Town council, it is General Statute 168.75, item C. An affirmative vote equal to a majority of all the members of the council, not excused from voting on the question of issue, including the mayor's vote, in case of an equal division, shall be required to adopt an ordinance, take any action having that of an effect of an ordinance, authorize or commit the expenditure of public funds, or make, ratify, or authorize any contract on behalf of the city.
Mr. Manager,
Yes, ma'am.
the legal counsel told me you all can change your ordinance.
And that would be.
You can,
applied-
excuse me, you can change your ordinance. You have to go through that process. If we think it's fine for people to walk up and down the street drinking all they want, we can change that ordinance. We do have to have a public hearing. There is a framework that we have to go through to do that. But
Mr. Mayor, if I may respond to that
Yes.
kind of floor, that would be considered taking action, having that effect of an ordinance, which this council did 4-1 in legal fashion.
so you're telling me that that ordinance supersedes what the League of Municipalities, who we have on retainer to represent us, told me.
They do
So
not
I guess
represent
we-
us.
I guess we have a
Right.
difference of opinions with the League of Municipalities.
Mr. Mayor, if I could respond to that, this council actually retains Miss Ivy for legal guidance, not the League of Municipalities. So that would be our legal advisor. Miss Ivy does general statute trump an ordinance.
Yes, and we have not changed our ordinance by what your council did last month. You've just amended it for 2 events. It's not, you can still take the action to change the ordinance in the future, but that ordinance is still in effect. It didn't change that, so.
So,
Different process if it decides to be changed, and if you're right, it's a completely different process.
If I may, we didn't change an ordinance, did we? That ordinance is still in effect, and that goes for every day of the week. The ordinance that we passed for events ordinance, which we passed 5-0, is strictly for events only. So after the event is done, and we have voted to do that, and after the event's done, then it goes right back to the ordinance that you read. So any other night of the week, you cannot drink alcohol on the sidewalks.
Cole, let me respond to you. It was a 4-1 vote on the event. As I had stated earlier in the meeting, this was voted on for the 2 events and 2 events only. It is not changing an ordinance that is in effect. In fact, I thought I clearly stated that if you stepped out of the beer garden itself and you were intoxicated, you could be charged. If you carry an open container outside the beer garden, you will be charged. That ordinance still stands in effect. That beer garden is the only place at that event for those 2 times that we are allowing alcohol on the street.
and to that point, we were advised not to violate or run afoul of our ordinance. We are basically violating it for 2 events. We haven't changed it. So you can interpret it as liberally as you choose. I interpret it as we and the lady that I talked to, who talked to her superiors and conferred with them before she responded, said, you are basically going against your own ordinance for this event, and that's not a good idea. So, Mr. Mayor, thank you for your indulgence. I do make a motion that we rescind the approval for the beer garden until the time that we change ordinances to allow such things.
I have a motion on the floor. Do I have a second? There being no motion or no second, excuse me, with that motion will die on the floor. And that will end that. Thank you for that. Appreciate that. Appreciate your concern, Millie, and we all of us have heard stories of heartache here tonight, and that's not something to be taken lightly. And I do hope that the people that are watching and listening will have heard some of those things and the tragedies that it comes. But with each of us, it is your own responsibility for your own actions. You must take it, you must own it. And that's all I can say about that. I have to take responsibility for my own actions, for my own words. I myself, not bragging in any way, have never had an ounce of alcohol in my body in my life. I have never done drugs, chewed tobacco, smoked a cigarette, never done any of that. Even while I was in the United States Marine Corps, I did not do that. In fact, I carried my drunk buddies back to the ship to help them out so they wouldn't get in trouble. Did I condone it? No. Do I condone it now? It's your life. You live your life, folks. The council has voted. It stays the same. We'll move on to our other business that I have right here. I've given you each a proclamation that is before you. It is a representation and recognizing a proclamation of the Sparta Women's Club that has been formed for 85 years and has served Allegheny County since its inauguration. It has been faithful and respectfully, enthusiastically, and with dignity served all of Allegheny County. The Women's Club is providing cultural, educational, and social experiences to the community. And this right here will just give them a proclamation of appreciation and show of support from this council. All I need is an approval to sign this proclamation.
Motion to approve this.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, show of hands, please. 5-0. I appreciate that. We appreciate those women's clubs and all those clubs. Appreciate that. At this time, there being no other business, I don't believe, Mr. Manager, you have anything else. I am going to open up the floor. Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yes, you all should have received an invitation to the annual banquet for the High Country Council of Government. You will need to respond directly to Ms. Choate by next Friday if you intend to go, so that we can get your RSVP put in. Thank you, Ms. Choate.
Thank you.
Keeping me straight. Mr. Mayor.
Appreciate This time I will open up the floor for public comment. Public comment, you get 3 minutes to talk about what you need to talk about. Please introduce yourself with your name and your address. And at this time, I will open up the floor for public comments. And I believe the young lady right there has been waiting for a pretty good while, John Boy. So I'm going to skip you. She's a lot prettier than you are.
Well, I'm not sure that's true, but thank you, Mr. Mayor. My name is Catherine Fredericks. I reside at 21 Timber Street, which that's a whole nother topic, in Sparta. And I only recently moved here. And I wanted to comment on the What's Happening in Sparta page on Facebook. I have that page to thank for finding me this lovely town to move to. For well over a year, I've been trying to get out of Florida, which was a mistake, and we've all made them. But I'm a follower on Facebook of many things and had decided that North Carolina might be an option for me, and started looking for places and came across that page on Facebook and probably have been following it for a year. And when the opportunity arose for me to move here, which was back in February, I guess, was when I started looking, there actually was a post on, or I actually posted on that page, excuse me, to find a place to rent, and was fortunate enough to get a rental, which I know are hard to come by here. And, you know, I don't know what I bring to the community, but I hope it's positive. And I have to say, I'm retired. So whatever money I do have is going into this community. I shop here. I go to all the businesses that I can to help them out, one way or another. I've had lovely dining experiences. I've actually been to the candle shop and have a great candle, so that's good. And I rely on that page to help me to find the things that are in Sparta for me to do. I have to say that right from the beginning, I knew that that was not a Sparta town sponsored page in any way, shape, or form. And one of the other things I noted about it was that there are nothing but kind people on that page. And that really was a factor of me deciding to move here, was that I felt like this was a community I could really join and fit into, and I haven't been disappointed. So I'm very happy to be here. I have that page to thank for getting me here, for finding me a place to live, and for keeping me going. Thank you.
Thank you, appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Welcome to Allegheny County.
Thank you.
And welcome to Allegheny. I think I had the pleasure of meeting
Yes.
you in the post office, I
Yes.
believe. Yes, ma'am. That's where I meet everybody. John?
I'm Johnny Wishon, 908 Independence Road, Sparta. I'm coming to you guys as the chairman of the Allegheny County Agriculture Committee, and we want to have a fair this fall. We want to do it the last weekend in September. We're coming to this board. We're looking for your support, moral, which is easy, possibly financial, which could be a little bit tougher. Agriculture is Allegheny County's biggest industry. This would showcase our biggest industry through exhibits, competitions, just like fairs all have, that kind of thing. It has been proven that to get folks through the door, especially young people, you got to have rides and you got to have other things going on that goes along with this fair. I have heard, as I've sat here and listened to y'all talk about the big crowds that Sparta is having, I'm going to quote John Brady, who says we need to do it right if we're going to do something.
Yeah.
We think this is the year to really bring a really nice fair back to Allegheny County. We think it's the year to do it right, John. To do it right, it takes some money. People are eager to get out. They were cooped up for over a year, and things like this are drawing big crowds. So we think it's a great opportunity for Allegheny County agriculture and for the county and town as a whole. It would be a wholesome, family-friendly event you can bring the whole family to. We're hoping to draw folks not just from Allegheny County, but from outside our county borders. I know this is just public comment, so I'm just throwing this out here for your all's consideration at a later time. We will be going to county commissioners. It has been pointed out to me that TDA might possibly have some money that they could go toward this, Millie. Pointed that out to me. We'll be working closely with Chamber, folks like that, to get rides for 3 days is $30,000. So you're basically looking at $10,000 a day. But that is a really good group that's going to bring some good quality rides in here for the family. So again, I'm bringing this to you for your consideration, for you to be thinking about it. I know y'all have work sessions with the county commissioners, and we'll probably be talking about it some more. But anyway, thank you for your time. I'll be
Got it
glad
right.
to answer any questions. Yes.
I know you're not asking for money tonight.
No.
but Seems to me if you're gonna do this at the end of September.
Yes.
You need to start
We've
asking.
got to hustle.
Better start
Yes.
You need
asking.
to start
Well, and
asking.
the reason that I'm coming to you at such a late date is COVID's gotten everything really out of whack. And we have just now found a really good, high quality group that's willing to come to Allegheny County. It's really tough to get somebody with good rides to come to a small town.
So
So
When will you need your answer? I mean, your
Yesterday.
funding? What's the latest? What's the latest that you can get your funding? What's the latest that you need?
I'm not sure, Wes, but I'll get you that answer the
You only
next
have
day
one
or
meeting
so.
left before
Yes.
September.
I don't think we got time. How much money theoretically are you asking for from the town council?
That's a good question.
We'll put it down.
As much as you can stand, I guess. That's not a number, I know.
All right.
Well, I guess to get, and not trying to be evasive, John, but I probably would need to talk to
All right.
some folks to
And I
get a
mean, we're
better
having
answer.
a joint meeting with the county this month, right?
There's
There's five.
last Monday,
Yes.
last Monday in August.
Now, we will be charging admission, and it is our hope that after a year or two of this, that it is a self-sustaining event. But I don't want to be naive and say we're going to get $30,000 walking through the door.
And Johnny, did we not, and I say we because I'm on the same board, we did get sponsors at the one in 2019,
We did.
correct?
Yeah.
So what I would propose to the other council members, if they would be so inclined, is to go ahead and commit to a general funding level. We've dumped $70,000 in this town hall over the past several months, so apparently we have some funds to do things. So I would like to make a motion that we commit to at least, what?
We can't make a motion.
No, we can't.
I would like to commit to at least, if you're going to the county, you're going to the TDA, you're going to the chamber,
We are.
I think we
We're
are.
going to solicit sponsorships as well.
Again.
Y'all are just the first people we've talked to, but we're going to hit a bunch of people.
We can't make a motion on a commitment for anything. This wasn't on the agenda.
What I suggest is for the council is to let Peggy and Ryan look into our budget to see what we can appropriate and get back to you guys as quick as possible via email or whatever, and just let you know what we got. And then maybe by the end of August, we can,
Sure.
at the joint
Sure.
meeting, we can have you an answer.
Well, like I
that-
say,
that
this
meeting.
came around so quick, we couldn't even get on the agenda, but we wanted to get it in front of you.
Sounds like
Is
a
that
good
fair
plan.
enough?
Good plan going forward. If that suits you.
John, I think it'd be nice to have that fair back.
Well, like I say, there was nothing last year because of COVID, and the fair has fumbled a little bit over the years, but we want to do it right. We want to have a really nice county ag fair, and I think it'll be good for the town, the county, the kids,
So
all ages.
You can't make a motion.
can't make a motion, but with the consensus of the council,
All right.
would that be fine with you guys to let the
All right,
finance?
I'll go along with this too, getting together with y'all
Sure.
and maybe with the county to see what they're willing to do and where you're at and
Yes.
to commit some funds to this.
And we might be able to actually do that at the joint meeting, and bring it up.
It's on the agenda.
If we put that on the agenda, we might be able to give it to you that meeting.
Sure. Okay.
But now time's short.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Round up some chickens and some pigs for some steak contest.
So you're thinking about a 3-day event, John?
Yes.
3 days.
Yes, 3-day, possibly even 4, but 3-day for sure. You know, you really need to do this Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So that's kind of what we're looking at right now.
Thank you, John.
Thank you all for your
Appreciate that.
support, and we'll be talking very soon.
Thank you for
Thank
what you
you.
do. Appreciate you, John. Anyone else that would like to make a public comment?
Mr. Mayor, Council, I'm Ephraim Whitehead. I'm at 86 Spencer Lane. So if anybody wants to bake me an apple pie, I will be more than happy to send it up. For those of you who don't know, I'm the Center Executive Director over at Genesis Allegheny Center. I just want to make a quick announcement for an initiative that we're unrolling out here pretty soon. It's a universal vaccination. As we look at rising cases with the new variant, the Delta variant of COVID-19, this is an effort where Genesis just implemented this or announced this yesterday, which will be a requirement for all of our staff, any volunteers, care partners that are providing care for our residents there to be fully vaccinated, to really have that first dose by the 23rd. It's a bold and aggressive target, but critically important to the safety of our residents going forward. So this is something that you'll see a lot of other healthcare organizations leaning towards, UNC Healthcare, other senior living communities and organizations, and it could very well be the future of all healthcare as a whole to require vaccination to participate. So it's something that we are excited about. There are mixed feelings and emotions with some of the staff. As we just announced this, kind of a ice water bath there, but we're going to continue to communicate this to our families, our residents. They're thrilled and excited about that, but to get people a little more comfortable. And I would be lying if I told you that I didn't have my own anxiety when I first, I'm fully vaccinated, but when that time came, I had my own thoughts, concerns, and you're hearing a little bit of everything out there, but the goal is to get people to move towards that, just operating off of facts. And just speaking as a whole, just kind of what we gathered today here for all leaders in the room, as we all are, just we could operate off of what if for everything. I could have said, what if I stand up and my pants rip, or what if I sit down and my chair breaks, and then we would never do anything. We'd be frozen. So always appreciate the form of these meetings as we bounce around ideas for each other. And it's important to know that you can still keep an open mind, be receptive of different points of view, and hold true to your core values and principles, all in the same. So, Mr. Mayor, Council, thank you.
Good to see you again. I appreciate you. In the back, I think, one more.
How's it going? This is my first time up here. My name is Jerry Picaro. I live in 5960 US Highway 221. I was asked to come here by Jennifer Swink and talk about how her page has helped my business grow. It's been a blessing. I would have never been able to grow my business without that page and other pages like that. I would like to see y'all come up with y'all's own page so people can have the facts. But it's been a blessing. I get 30,000 views on some posts, which is more than what's in this community. And that right there just gives me chills. It is helping my new business grow already, and we're not even open. And I just really think that y'all should definitely make y'all's own, to go with that disclaimer. Maybe she can add a little click button or something to go with that. And another thing I would like to talk about is the parks. So I've been working on the skate park. That skate park has been there since 2009. It is starting to fall apart, and it looks really rough. And man, I was in there the other day. There were shopping carts in there. We cleaned it up. I started a GoFundMe account to try to start raising money to help fix the skate park up. But as I talked to some safety people, they wanted to do a concrete skate park. Now, it's going to be pretty expensive to do something like that. But I would really hate to see that skate park be shut down. And if we could do anything, with any kind of money we got left, I would like to help out to fix that up for these kids, because that's more like the teenagers, and I feel like they need a spot to go. So, anything I can do to help. We have with Becca's Backwoods, we have $3,500 just waiting for that. So I don't know what we could do to help, but anything y'all can help out, to get these kids someplace to go have a good time. That's about all I got to say.
Well, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Congratulations on your business
Thank
too. Anyone else that have a public comment?
I won't take but just a second. I just want to remind the public that as an organizer of a lot of the events here in the county, as a partner with a lot of the other other organizations that hold events in this county, that, Brad, you made the comment that the gentlemen who were acting up at the event was none of your business. And it actually is your business. It's actually the public's business. And if I don't have the public support, if these other organizations don't have the public support at these events, as far as reporting people who are out of line, reporting people who may be using foul language around children or disorderly, I can't see everything. We try our best. The police are on site at all these events that are at the sheriff's department. But we do encourage the public that if you do see anything that would jeopardize, the integrity of that event or the town's reputation in any way, then to report it to the event staff or to the local law enforcement that are always on site at these events. So, and also I'd like for the town council to know that you have good people who are working for this community. I grew up here and I care about it, and you need to know that, Millie, and the rest of the town council needs to know about it. And you have a lot of good people working for this community, not just me, but in the county, rec department. Cole, he's brand new. You have a lot of people who really care. But my job as executive director is to work for our chamber members and this community. But I just need you to have faith in what we're doing, and have faith that I'm going to do the best I can to protect this community and this town, and also serve our chamber members. So a little faith on your part would go a long ways with me. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else have any public comments? Before we close that out, I just want to make mention that we do have garbage cans and benches that will be here tomorrow to go on the street. So streetscape is almost at its very, very, very end. So with that being said, I'm going to close the.
Can we get the Allegheny News to get a picture of the mayor sitting on the first bench?
I was just about to say, would love to do a photo op for that. Just tell me where and when.
I'll be down at Bobby Shaw's sewer down out there. Go ahead, John.
No, I just want to, I'm talking about events coming up. I know Cycle North Carolina starts here this year, and that's a big event. So they have about 12,000 riders. They'll all be coming in here. Should be a great event for Sparta. And I don't know if the Chambers the one who got them or who, but that's a big plus for Sparta. I just want to mention that.
I'd like to make a little comment.
One more in public.
I'd like to thank the Allegheny Arts Council and Barbara Halsey for the dance, the music this last Saturday night. We had a fantastic crowd. I believe that's most people I've seen at the park area, for the music. So I just like to give them some praise. They've done a great job.
That being said, we'll close our public comment. And now I'll entertain a motion to adjourn our meeting until September.
So moved.
And a motion and a second. All in favor, show of hands, please, for adjournment. Okay, I got 4. Do I have another? You want, Billy, you ready to adjourn? 5-0. Meeting is adjourned until September.
I've had all fun out of it.